let's dive right into the material you shared. There's this really intriguing idea in there. What if your body, especially after 70, is already like sending out signals about how long you might keep going strong?
It's a fascinating concept, isn't it? Because, after 70, every year really does feel precious.
It really does.
And these signals, well, the research you pulled together shows they aren't just random guesses. They seem to be based on actual patterns, things doctors and researchers see in people who live these long, healthy lives.
Right, so it's less crystal ball, more pattern recognition based on science. So in this deep dive, we're going to dig into exactly what these key signs are, the ones supported by the data in your sources.
Yeah, figure out what they might be telling you.
Exactly. And crucially, what the actionable steps are. Things you can actually do to maybe boost your chances for a longer, healthier run.
Precisely. It's about taking that knowledge from the sources and making it practical, empowering you, really. So where should we start? Sign number one.
Let's do it.
Kicking us off, your walking speed. Now, I know it sounds almost too simple.
Right.
But across the studies you shared, this one kept popping up. A really strong predictor, maybe even stronger than like DNA or your basic medical chart sometimes.
It does make you stop and think.
Yeah.
But when you unpack it, the connection, well, it makes sense. Keeping up a steady, fairly brisk walk in your 70s and beyond, it's not just about getting from A to B.
Yeah.
The material links it directly to your whole system's health. Your muscles, obviously, but also heart function, circulation, even how sharp your brain is. It's like a snapshot of everything working together.
And those examples in the sources were so clear. Like Joe and Frank, both 75.
Yeah, great examples. Joe's got that fluid, confident walk, looks
How
balanced.
Frank? He's slowed right down. You see him struggling a bit, maybe needing pauses, looking a little unsteady.
And that difference tells a story. Joe's pace suggests his foundation. His legs are still strong, supporting him well.
But Frank's slower speed, the research suggests, isn't just, taking longer. It could be a flag for underlying stuff. Maybe muscle wetness, maybe circulation issues, maybe even early neurological changes affecting his coordination.
So slowing down isn't just inevitable aging. It could be a real warning sign. But here's a good part, the hopeful bit from the sources.
Yes. Your walking speed isn't set in stone.
You can change it.
Absolutely. If you've noticed you're slowing down, the material says it's definitely not too late. Simple stuff helps. Just consciously walking more, maybe adding some light leg exercises, using small weights. Consistency seems to be the trick.
So it's something to pay attention to as you move through your day. How's it feel? Steady? Confident? Or is it getting harder? A simple check-in.
Exactly. Which kind of leads us to the next physical sign the material flagged is really important, your grip strength.
Ah, yes, grip strength. Another one that seems small but apparently tells a big story.
Yeah, the research presents it as a pretty clear indicator of just overall vitality, especially in older adults.
So a firm handshake isn't just polite. It actually means something deeper.
It seems so. The sources suggest it points to good muscle health overall, not just in the hands, good circulation getting down to your fingers, and a nervous system that's communicating effectively.
Okay, and the flip side. If you notice your grip weakening.
That's where the material sounds a warning bell. It could be an early sign of losing muscle mass more generally. Frailty, they call it.
And frailty is linked to more problems.
Definitely. A higher risk of falls, injuries, other health issues kicking in, and potentially, impacting lifespan. Think about Robert and Walter, both 78 in the examples.
Right, Robert's still active, opening jars, no problem. Firm grip.
But Walter notices tasks getting harder, twisting caps, carrying bags, and just kind of dismisses it. I'm just getting older.
But the sources say that weakening grip wasn't minor. It was a sign. His hands reflecting maybe a bigger decline in muscle health.
Precisely. It's likely happening elsewhere, too, affecting independence, how well you bounce back.
Okay, but again, like walking speed, the sources say this is something you can work on.
Yes, absolutely. More good news. Simple, regular exercises. Squeezing a tennis ball using those hand grippers you can buy.
Even just carrying light weights sometimes.
Yeah, that helps too. It all adds up to maintain or even rebuild that strength.
So notice the little things. Is opening that jar getting tougher? Bags feeling heavier? Your hands might be giving you feedback.
Which brings us nicely to sign number 3, balance. Specifically, can you stand on one leg?
Ah, the balance test. This one came across as a really powerful predictor in your sources.
It really did. The research mentioned is quite striking. People who find it hard to balance, especially that simple test, stand on one foot unsupported, for just 10 seconds.
10 seconds doesn't sound like much.
It doesn't, but struggling with it is linked to a much higher risk of falls. And as the sources highlight, falls later in life can be really serious, leading to a cascade of other problems.
Whereas good balance is linked to living longer and healthier.
Right, it shows how interconnected things are. Good balance needs strong legs, sure, but also a sharp nervous system sending the right signals and a brain processing it all correctly.
Like Carol and Nancy in the examples, both early 70s.
Exactly. Carol's active, maybe does yoga, she lifts her foot, holds it, no problem. Nancy maybe hasn't focused on it, tries and immediately wobbles, needs to grab something.
And that wobble, that instability Nancy feels. The sources suggest it's a sign those systems, coordination, muscles, brain function might be weakening, feeling unsteady when you turn quickly, needing to hold on to things more.
Those are the signals to watch for. But just like the others, the material stresses that balance can be improved.
It's not fixed.
Not at all. Practice helps. Simple things. Standing on one foot while you brush your teeth.
Oh, here, try that.
Or walking heel to toe across the room carefully. Even gentle things like Tai Chi are fantastic for balance.
So maybe give that 10-second test a go, see how you do on each leg. If it's shaky, it's not failure, it's just information. A nudge to work on it a bit.
Precisely. Okay, shifting gears a bit from purely physical markers. Sign number 4. Your sleeping patterns.
Sleep. Always important, but the sources you shared really linked how you sleep after 70 to longevity.
It's easy to underestimate sleep, isn't it? But the material really emphasizes its crucial role. For older adults, getting consistent, good quality sleep is vital for repairing the body, keeping the immune system strong.
And that brain cleanup you mentioned earlier.
Yes, clearing out toxins, really important. Quality sleep is strongly tied to living longer and staying mentally sharp.
And the downside is pretty significant too. Poor sleep, restlessness, not feeling refreshed.
Linked to higher risks of memory problems, heart issues, a weaker immune system. The contrast between Henry and Bill in the sources was telling.
Yeah, Henry, mid-70s, gets his 7 hours, wakes up feeling good. Bill, same age, tossing and turning, waking up a lot, struggling.
Henry's good sleep is likely boosting his health. Bill's struggles, though, the material suggests aren't just about being tired. Poor sleep can be your body saying something's off.
Like stress. Or diet.
Could be. Or lack of activity, or even something undiagnosed like sleep apnea. And chronic poor sleep leads to real issues: brain fog, fatigue, blood pressure changes.
So it's your body sending a message.
Uh-huh.
But the good news, again, is you can influence sleep quality.
Definitely. Lots you can do. The sources mention practical things. Cutting down screen time before bed, having a regular routine, getting some sunlight during the day, avoiding big meals or caffeine late.
Simple habits, really.
That they can make a big difference.
So think about it. How did you sleep? Waking up tired, struggling to stay asleep. It's a daily check-in with yourself.
Which flows naturally into the next internal sign the material discussed: appetite and eating habits.
Right? How you eat after 70. Another big predictor, apparently.
It seems foundational, really. Maintaining a decent appetite, choosing balanced foods. The sources say this keeps your body strong, your immune system up, your energy levels steady.
And if your appetite drops off or your habits slide.
That can signal problems and maybe even speed up aging. The comparison between Margaret and Susan, both 74, really drove this home.
Margaret enjoys food, eats well, steady weight, feels energetic.
Exactly. Susan, though, not as hungry, skips meals, relies on easy processed stuff, losing weight without trying.
And that unintentional weight loss, the declining appetite. The sources call that a red flag.
A big one. It could mean the body isn't absorbing nutrients well. That leads quickly to weaker muscles, slower metabolism, a hit to the immune system. It might even tie into digestive issues, hormones, or even early cognitive changes.
And not eating enough leads to muscle breakdown.
Which increases frailty, risk of falls, illness. It just underscores how vital fuel is, especially as we age. Ignoring changes in appetite isn't wise.
But the positive spin, you can focus on eating well.
Totally within your control. The sources stress focusing on whole foods, things packed with nutrients, staying hydrated, and importantly, not just dismissing a shrinking appetite, investigate it. Get enough protein, fiber, healthy fats.
So take stock. Still enjoy meals. Eating nourishing food, noticing appetite or energy dipping. Your diet holds clues.
Okay, moving slightly outward again. Sign number 6, how you handle stress. This was highlighted as quite revealing for longevity after 70.
Stress. We all feel it, but how we manage it matters.
Immensely. The sources show chronic, unmanaged stress really wears down the body, weakens the immune system, ups the risk of heart disease, basically speeds up aging on a cellular level,
Wow.
whereas people who find effective ways to cope tend to stay healthier, more active, mentally sharper.
Like John and Richard, both 76 in the examples.
Good contrast. John faces problems but handles them calmly. Maybe uses deep breathing, stays social, doesn't dwell. Richard holds on to it, worries constantly, feels overwhelmed, gets stuck.
And the sources explain Richard's stress isn't just mental, it's physical. Raising blood pressure, messing with sleep, draining energy.
And crucially, that link to inflammation came up. Chronic stress fuels inflammation, which is tied to so many age-related diseases, Alzheimer's, heart conditions.
So if you often feel tense, frazzled, just worn out, your stress response might be taking a toll. But the encouraging part,
You can learn better strategies. Finding ways to manage stress can genuinely add quality years.
and the sources mention things like mindfulness, exercise.
Yes, some mindfulness, regular exercise, even gentle walks help. Deep breathing techniques. Finding ways to laugh and experience joy. All effective.
So how do you react to challenges, adapt,
Mm-hmm.
or hold on to worry? Managing stress is a powerful lever.
Absolutely. Which leads us to the final sign, number 7. And this one got a lot of emphasis in the material. Social connections.
The strength of your relationships. This came through really clearly as a major indicator after 70.
The research seems overwhelming on this. Strong social ties, friends, family, community involvement, they're directly linked to living longer, healthier lives.
And the opposite, loneliness.
Tied to much higher risks. Heart disease, depression, cognitive decline, even dying earlier. It's a serious health factor.
The stories of Eleanor and Barbara, both 78, were quite stark.
Weren't they? Eleanor's busy, connected book club, family, friends, laughs often, feels part of things. Barbara's isolated, lost touch, feels alone, and her mood and health suffer.
And the sources say this connection isn't just about feeling good emotionally.
No, it's more than that. It directly impacts physical health. Staying engaged keeps the brain active, helps manage stress, releases beneficial chemicals. Feeling connected is like a buffer.
So if you've noticed yourself pulling back, spending more time alone, the material suggests that's a signal worth noticing. But again, you can change this.
Absolutely. It's never too late to reconnect or build new ties. Even small steps matter.
Like what?
Reaching out to an old friend, joining a group, anything, a walking group, a craft club, making an effort to have real conversations.
So an honest question for yourself. Are you staying connected or becoming more isolated? Your relationships aren't just nice-to-haves. The sources say they're vital for healthy aging.
So that's our 7 signs, pulled from the material. Walking speed, grip strength, balance, sleep, appetite, stress handling, and social connection. They aren't predictions etched in stone, of course.
No, more like insights, powerful indicators of your current health and resilience.
And the really positive thread running through all the sources is that most of these are things you can influence. You have agency here.
Your future isn't fixed.
Exactly. So maybe take a moment, reflect on these signs. Where do you feel you stand? If some areas are flashing yellow, maybe...
The time to act is now, not putting it off.
Right. Start small, walk a bit more, work on that grip or balance, prioritize sleep. Reach out to someone. Find healthy ways to deal with stress.
Because the goal, as the sources kept stressing, isn't just more years. It's about the quality of those years.
Living better, and this knowledge, understanding these signals from the material you shared, it gives you tools to do that.
Definitely. So maybe a final thought to leave everyone with, building on all this.
Yeah.
Given these insights, what's just one small change, just one thing based on these signs that you can start today? Something that might really boost the quality of your life, not just tomorrow, but for the years ahead.